and welcome back to another episode of So My Wife's a Witch.
A Bewitched Deep Dive Podcast.
We're back again with episode 10.
Mm-hmm.
Just one happy family.
Yes.
Was anything crazy going on at the time in the world?
No.
Nothing at all?
Absolutely nothing.
Wow. boring November time.
I know. How are you been?
I've been good. How have I been? I've been good. We took a little break, so we're like jumping back into filming after a few weeks.
We're now in February.
It's
exciting.
Sunnier days are on the horizon.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like we had like a little warm peak there. But also Seahawks just won the Super Bowl.
They did
so
yesterday.
Feeling very, very proud of this city.
Yeah, even though I only watched the halftime show.
I know. I didn't really watch it either. But I've seen the highlights.
Y'all know how we feel about sports.
Yeah. Yeah, y'all know.
And how far our interest goes into them.
I don't have to explain myself to you. I know you guys know that. But it was funny. My mom was texting me the whole time. Anytime like they made a pass or there was a touchdown, she was texting me about it. It was really cute.
Well, where I'm from,
yeah,
we only really care about college football.
Oh, okay.
Because I guess the nearest NFL team would be like Atlanta.
Yeah.
Or Orlando or something. So yeah.
Yeah.
Not really a big deal back where I'm from.
That makes sense.
But now that I'm in Seattle, kind of a big deal. The Seahawks were even there, but also won. So
that is crazy. And yeah, very proud, especially against the Patriots. I, growing up on the East Coast, have like historically, like when, wasn't it the Green Bay Packers and the Patriots were up, and I'm pretty sure back in the day there was a time when they were up against each other. And I remember being like rooting for the Patriots. So it's fun now, like living here in Seattle and having a different team to root for. Yeah.
And then I could just like cut to Samantha sitting in the bleachers, like using magic. No.
Yeah.
Like she did for Marshmallow Burns.
My cat Mufasa has made an appearance. Hi. I spent the weekend away, so he's been very attached to me today.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hi, Annie. Why are you looking at me like that?
Well, apparently people can hear you chewing your food.
Oh, really?
Which they think is really cute.
Wait, who said that?
My mom.
Oh.
So she likes when Mufasa makes any kind of appearance, whether that's on camera or just being able to hear him. So
do you want that? Let me know if you want some more Mufasa content next episode, and we'll make it happen for you.
I would also like to, just last thing before we get into the episode, this is our 10th episode, and we're about to release episode 8 while we're filming this, but just wanted to let y'all know how wonderful and how much we love reading the comments on YouTube, and then also on our just audio streams as well, like Apple Podcasts and everything have been so sweet, and so we really appreciate the kind words. So
yeah, thank you. I think we already have such a fun time going on this journey and watching the show back, and also having you here along with us and getting to see your kind of encouraging comments about how much you're enjoying it as well. It feels like we have a little community starting, and that's a wonderful thing. So yeah,
and for the person that called us intelligent, we love you.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. Yeah. Like I already knew that, but it's nice to be reminded every once in a while.
Exactly. But yeah, you want to dive on into the episode?
Yeah. I bet like there weren't any top songs or anything.
No, it was still the same as last episode.
Okay. I look forward to this content now because I want to know if I'll know it, and then I can sing it to you and serenade you. So next episode.
You don't have to.
You don't love it? It's not your favorite thing ever?
Sometimes, no.
Okay.
Yeah, of course. I love hearing you sing.
Thank you. Okay. Anyway, yeah, we'll jump on into the episode, I guess.
So yes, episode 10, Just One Happy Family, aired on November 19th, 1964, and was sponsored by Quaker Oats.
Good old Quaker Oats. Tried and true.
Fiber, baby.
Yeah, we open on the TV is having some repairs done.
Yeah, I said we open on their TV being exploded.
Yes, the guts are out.
Yeah.
All over the floor. And Samantha comes in, she sees the mess, and she's like, oh, wasn't it just the antenna? Like, she thought it was going to be some quick repair that he was doing.
And he makes up some random words, and it's like, no, you got a big mess here, and can I use your phone? She's like, sure. And then he's on the phone, and of course he's a slimy piece of shit trying to get $40 out of her,
extort her.
And so she knows this, of course, because she's not stupid. And so he gets back into the living room, and she's sitting in her little chair, the same one she was in our other episode with her TV dinner. So she's sitting in her chair across from the TV, just watching TV, and his tools in the toolbox is like nice and neatly stacked right there below it. And of course he's in disbelief, and she's kind of filing her nail, and he says, what did you, because he's holding like a
light bulb.
No, it's not.
A plug?
It's like a compressor or something.
Oh, I thought it was like
a tube. But yeah, then older electronics, they had those things.
Oh.
And so he's like, that would have needed to be put in the TV to make it work.
Yeah.
And so that's why he's so confused. But my favorite thing is what she says afterward in response. What does Samantha say?
She goes, nail file.
How did you,
Nail file.
As if that just explains it. Like, that's how she was able to put it all back together again.
Yeah.
And I thought it was I, of course, start breaking down the symbolism of him holding this very, like, practical tool while she is holding something very impractical, like something that people are viewed as just needed cosmetically. And I thought that paralleled how wives are seen as cosmetic decorations to the home.
Wow.
Like, they couldn't possibly fix a whole TV, and not having their own means to fix electronics or do other handiwork. So I thought it was very interesting how, like, once again, her magic is allowing her to, like, take her power back. And
because that was kind of the thing, like, I'm going to take advantage of her, right? Because it seems like that's the little scheme him and his boss or whoever, the TV repair people, that they do. Like, oh, we're going to just come in, these housewives that don't know anything, and get one over on them, right?
Yeah, and she flips the script, and
she does.
She leaves him confounded. And I also looked it up. $40 back in the day would have been $408 today, adjusted for inflation. So that is so ridiculously expensive.
I'm glad you looked that up.
Yeah, I was like, $40 doesn't sound like a lot.
Now, yeah.
Yeah, but like back in the day, that was a lot of money. And I love the little smirk that she has at the end when she's like filing, and he's so confused. And
well, that's why, like, I think it's important. Like, it's such a funny line in the way that Elizabeth says it, right? But like, that's kind of the thing too, right? She's like playing into the, I don't know anything. I'm just filing my nails, and like, like a dumb housewife thing, but also like dumb blonde, maybe kind of stereotype.
Yeah.
So, this is all you saw me as, kind of things.
I loved him. Like, that's our girl. Yeah. We love her.
So watching her Westerns again, I think it was the same reused clip as the last time she was watching TV, which is cute. So
it's cute. Yeah, I thought it was really fun cold open. I loved it.
So yeah, and then we get the theme song.
And then we have some new writers.
Yeah, we find out that this episode has 2 writers, and the second episode to have 2 writers, but thankfully not the 2 that wrote The Girl Reporter.
Yeah, different ones this time.
Yeah. Thank goodness. No offense to them, but It
wasn't our favorite episode.
Not the best.
Yeah.
Especially compared to what other people can do by themselves. But these two guys are great because we love this episode. Spoiler alert. But yeah, it was written by Fred Freeman and Lawrence J. Cohen, and they were writing partners. A writing team.
Writing time?
Team.
Right. Tam.
But yeah, I could do a mini dip dive into them. So there's not really much about Fred Freeman, but it looks like he is still alive and well and with us. But yeah, and at one point he had some kind of writing partnership with Gary Marshall, which is exciting. And as you pointed out, he was on an episode of The Projection Booth on August 7th, 2023.
Now I'm paranoid people can hear Mufasa eating his food. Should I put him in the bathroom?
No.
Okay.
Never.
They love it.
It's ambiance. But yeah, and so Mike White interviews him. Of course, Mike White, the genius behind White Lotus, which you love so much. But yeah, so go listen to that if you would like to. But he wrote episodes of The Empty Nest, 9 episodes of Andy Griffith, 2 episodes of Dick Van Dyke, and 5 episodes of Bewitched. And 5 episodes of Gilligan's Island.
Woo.
And a few movies that seemed pretty popular, but I had never heard of them. But a little more info on our second writer, Mr. Lawrence J. Cohen. He was born on October 12th, 1935 in Indianapolis, Indiana. And he married his wife, Evelyn, in 1956, and they had 3 children. And since he and Fred were writing partners, of course, they have all the same credits, at least the ones that are available. And he passed away at age 82 on December 17th, 2017.
Wow. That's awesome that they were able to create so much work together. I feel like maybe I see this in theater a lot. You'll have like people who write books together. But I feel like in movies and television, you don't see writing partners too often. So that's really cool that they were able to write so many different shows for TV. Yeah.
So I can't wait to see more of their episodes, of course, with Mr. Bernard Slade, who's still my favorite writer so far, of Bewitched episodes. We only had to wait, one episode in between his second episode. So hopefully we won't have to wait long to see more of their episodes. So.
I really liked the writing this episode. I thought it was really well done.
Very smart, quick, no fluff.
Yeah.
But also not rushed.
Yeah. And lots of little callbacks. They set things up to happen later. And I thought that is just the show of good writing, that they're putting so much thought into it.
Yeah. So yeah, the episode opens at the breakfast table, as it often does. And Darrin tells Sam that they just, oh wow, he's reading the paper. He's like, oh wow, they just added a new train that I can take to work. And she's like, oh no. She's instantly thinking negatively about it. She's like, oh, does that mean that Larry's going to make you work more nights?
And he says that it'll get back. It runs, the last train's at 10 p.m. And he says this. And I just want to mention that for later. Continue.
Oh. Well, we just talked about how good the writing was now.
I know. This is the one thing that Adam Michael James points out in the Bewitched Continuum. He points out a couple other things, but I give them more grace with the other things that he says. But this is the one thing where I'm like, okay, I agree. They pointed this out. So why does he say this later? But anyway.
Okay. Their next episode is going to be even better. As it's a really bad episode.
We'll see.
We'll get to it.
But anyway, Sam is like, oh no, you're going to start working nights again? And he's like, no, these nights with you are worth more than gold. And I'm like, right answer. Good job, Darrin.
Yes, very good at skirting around that. But yeah, so it's really cute little exchange between them. And then Sam goes to grab something out of the fridge, and she opens the door. And what do we see but the most beautiful redhead sitting on a stick of butter.
It's so cute.
In the refrigerator.
I had to pause as soon as I saw her and just take a sec.
Yes, because I said... That's what I did too. I said, more importantly, why do they have 2 bottles of ketchup and olive oil in their refrigerator?
That's random. That's so random.
The ketchup, yes, but I guess if it's like whatever, like, okay, this bottle of ketchup is almost empty, so I'm going to go ahead and put this other bottle of ketchup in here.
Some people do that. I don't
know.
Yeah.
We'll blame that on Darrin because he's
Right.
immortal, right?
Yeah,
Samantha
right.
wouldn't even need a refrigerator.
She wouldn't.
But then like olive oil, is that like normal to put olive oil in the fridge?
I don't know. Back in the day, would it like not have? Isn't it naturally preserved? Like it's not like it has stuff in it to keep
No.
it good, and that's why we can leave it out on the counter.
Yeah.
So I don't know why they would have put that in the fridge.
Well, maybe it's a nice midnight snack and they just slurp it down and they want it cold instead.
I know if it's like infused with things, sometimes you do need to refrigerate it.
Yeah. Somehow
I
that
don't
seems like, because I like olive oil, but somehow, for some reason, seeing it in the refrigerator grossed me out.
Yeah, a little of an ick. Because
Yeah.
it's like cold slimy. It's worse
Oh, yeah.
than room temp slimy.
Yeah. There's a lot of other stuff in there, but I couldn't make out the labels. or
I was
anything.
my eyes had only one prize.
Endora.
Endora.
Yes. So yeah, she's sitting on clearly the thing of butter as well is a part of this thing that they had made before and like cut the whole thing out and Agnes Moorehead to put it in the refrigerator, right? Because there's also a thing of butter, a butter dish in the refrigerator as well. So what could she be sitting on? Butter.
I also, sidebar, I really liked how Darrin and Samantha are speaking to each other at the beginning of this episode, because she's saying how like proud she is of him, of his job at McMahon and Tate, and she's like speaking highly of him, and he is talking really sweetly to her about like how much quality time means to him, and you can he's expressing how much like she means to him and their relationship means to him, and like both hyperbolically, which only speaks more to their like connection that they have and the way they communicate with each other.
Yeah.
I just thought that was also good writing, that it's not just like zow, 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 and then they like kiss like in Barbara Abaton's episode. It's also like
Again, if we know anything, we know Barbara is horny.
Yeah. But which like go off, girl. But I love the way that they write them and they're talking to each other really nicely and sweetly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that too. But yeah, so Andora's like, girl, I gotta talk to you. Like, this is important. Like, we gotta talk. And Sam's like, what do you mean? Like if you have something to say, like, you can say it in front of Darrin. Like, why are you in the refrigerator?
Yeah.
And she's like, no, it's important. Like, I don't want to talk to him, basically.
Which I'm very much like, what could it possibly be that Darrin can't hear? Like, is she going through some troubles romantically? Like, is there something in her personal life she doesn't want to be vulnerable about?
Is she pregnant?
Is she pregnant? Perginat?
We don't know how witches work.
Pergarant? We don't know.
But yeah, but this is so cute too, because I feel like from my long-standing memories of watching Bewitched as a kid, this is what I remember the most is little mini Endora in these scenes.
She's so cute.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because Darren's like, oh, like, did you say something, honey? And she's like, oh, no. And she grabs like the creamer for the coffee and shuts the refrigerator. And so he's like, oh, okay. And then she goes over to grab the coffee cups, where we know they're kept from episode 4.
Yeah, when the welcome committee comes. Mm-hmm.
So where we know they keep the coffee cups, and she opens it, and Endora, we get the introduction, which is a first for Bewitched, and the introduction of a slide whistle.
Samantha, I advise you to listen to me. Is it, Mother? It's your father. He's coming to see you. Father?
What did you say, honey?
Nothing, darling.
Yeah, of Endora popping up in a coffee cup, which of course surprises Samantha again, as she because she doesn't want Darrin to see her in the cabinet. And yeah, so she finally tells her,
It's your father.
yes.
And I wrote down, uh-oh.
But yeah, she tells Sam that her father's coming to see her, and bless her heart, she gets so excited. And she says, "Father," like,
Father.
yeah, like this little squeak. But she's still trying to like whisper, right, so Darrin doesn't hear. And it's so good how Elizabeth does it.
And you wonder, like, how long it's been since she has seen him. Like, does he not come around too often?
We'll get to that.
I'll get there.
Yeah, I got stuff to say about that. But yeah, it's so funny. And then after that, because it was a little louder, Darren's like, "Are you okay? Like, why are you talking to the dishes?" You know, which is really cute. But yeah, Endora ducks down in the cup when he says that, and then we get the slide whistle sound. Like, woo! She like ducks down into the cup. Is so good. But she's like, no, like everything's fine. And he gets up from the table and walks out. And then that's when Endora's finally able to give her more information, right?
Yeah.
To say, he found out that you're married.
Yeah, to Duncan.
Yeah.
And then Sam's like, Darrin. And then Endora's like, his name will be Mud when your father finds out he's human. And I laughed at that. She's gonna turn to mud. It's
so like, it doesn't matter what his name is. Like he's gonna kill him.
Goner.
Yeah. But yeah, so after that, she's shuts the cabinet or whatever, and then we're back at the front door, and Sam's telling Darrin goodbye for the day, but she is honest with him and goes ahead and tells him, like, hey, my father's gonna come visit and everything. And like he found out that I was that we're married or whatever, and he was like, how did you find out? And she's like, when did you find out? And she's like, just now. He's like, you were talking to the dishes. So cute. And she's like, oh, it was just Mother, she didn't want to intrude. But so Darren's like excited because he wants to meet Sam's dad, of course, and Samantha's like, girl, no, that's not a good idea.
Yeah. And
he's like, what? And she says, Samantha says he doesn't approve of mixed marriages, which is interesting. And so this is going to be a theme for the episode. And so he's like, what's the worst that he can do to me? And there's a vase on the, that little whatever piece, side table beside the front door. And she points at it and explodes.
He's got a terrible temper.
Honey, it's time he faced the fact. You're married to me. What can he do about it?
That's what he can do about it.
I loved it. I also love that they had the same reaction. Like when Sam hears this, she's like, well, what's he gonna do? We're husband and wife, we're married. And that's what Darrin says too. He's like, well, what's he gonna do about it? We're married.
Yeah.
And then she explodes the vase, and it's such a fun moment where she just points and it goes everywhere, and then later we get to call back to it a couple times.
Yeah. And he's like, okay, because she's like, I want to do it alone, so I don't want you to be here.
Yeah.
Right.
She's worried about his safety, because if he has like an anger issue, you want to keep your loved one far away.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because she tells like that's his terrible temper. Like that's why you're gonna be the vase, right?
Did you notice this also? How in the first episode, when Endora first learns that Samantha is getting married to a human, she's like, "Oh, you must have gotten that proclivity from your father." Like she's like, you like humans, and your father also likes humans.
Our writing team didn't go back and
I guess that's like the downside of having so many different writers is like no one's looking out for continuity, but you do get a lot of
but that's what Danny Arnold's supposed to be, right? Because he's like the producer,
the showrunner.
So you're supposed to be able to be like, hey, that doesn't what else are you doing, girl?
Yeah,
like what is your job?
What else could you be doing?
Yeah.
But as at the same time, I'm willing to look past it as a viewer that this isn't like continuous with what's been going on previously, because I like seeing Endora and Sam on the same side for once, and like bringing them together against this like new big bad. So I just wanted to mention that.
Yeah, of course. But yeah, they make a plan for Darrin to stay away, like after his, like he's done at the office, until Maurice is gone. And yeah, so then we cut to Darrin's office, and Larry Tate drops some beautiful sketches on Darrin's desk.
And Darrin is down in the dumps about the whole situation.
Yes, and then he's like, Larry's like, what's wrong? Like, are you okay? Because he's like, because he doesn't like look at it right away when he drops on the desk. And he's like, okay, can you get started on these, and then we can talk about them on the train when we go home. And then Darrin's like, oh well, I'm not gonna be on the train. On that train, right? And he's like, uh-oh, like Larry gets so excited. He's like, ooh, trouble in paradise, you know, like he wants them to be in a fight, I guess.
He's like, finally, it's not just me all the time.
Yeah. And so he's like, no, nothing like that. We're fine. I'm just gonna have dinner here in the city.
And he's like, really? There's like nothing going on with Samantha? And then Darrin says how, okay, well, her father-in-law's in town. Mm-hmm. And Larry's like, oh, well, why? Like, shouldn't he be excited to meet you? Like, he should be proud he has the greatest account executive at McMahon and Tate as a son-in-law. And I thought that was so sweet.
It was sweet.
Sweet Larry.
I'm sure he says that to all of the account executives.
Right.
Because that's who Larry is.
Yes.
Yeah, and so he's like, well, it doesn't matter, like that's fine, but Samantha's dad is different, and that's not good enough for him.
Yeah,
you know. Cut back to the house, and Sam and Endora are already all dressed up. They're a little more fancy, right? Because for Maurice's visit.
And I love Sam's dress. And you kind of talked about this off camera, but I had written down love Sam's dress with the bow, and then what color? Because I wanted to ask you in the colorized version what color it ends up being.
So in the colorized version, they colored it pink. Mm-hmm. Apparently, according to David, it was teal. Mm-hmm. And I feel like she wears the same dress in an earlier episode, and it is colored correctly to teal. But I guess they were like, oh, let's change it up. Let's make it pink for this episode. Right. Either way, pretty cute. Still a little plain for my taste, especially to see such an extraordinarily beautiful woman in, right? But she can make anything look good, so it doesn't matter.
And Endora's dress with the sleeves.
Yeah, it has the sleeves that are like sheer. It's so cute. So yeah, love it. And Samantha's like pacing back and forth and worried about what her dad's gonna do, what he's gonna say, and she's like, I'm just gonna rip it off like a band-aid. Like, what's he gonna do? It's already done, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. And then she's also annoyed because she's like, why does he have to, no one's telling him how to run his life. And then Endora's like, your father doesn't run his life, he choreographs it. And I loved that because I feel like we're getting little ideas of who this person is before he shows up. And he shows up and he's just as eccentric as she's making him out to be. And
because she's so worried, and it's so cute. And she's fine. Yeah, that's what she's like, oh, well, that's fine. Like, it's a done deal. We're married. Like, there's nothing he can do about it. I'm going to rip it off like a Band-Aid. Like, I'm an adult kind of thing, right? Mm-hmm. And then the doorbell rings, and then she goes, ooh, or like she makes a noise.
Yeah. They're both kind of like,
yeah. And, all that confidence she had just displayed is magically gone, right?
Yeah.
Father.
Samantha, of course it is. You've got to be my daughter. You're positively gorgeous.
Well, what about yourself? You look marvelous.
Yes, I suppose I do.
And so she's nervous again.
She's like, Father. And he's like, well, of course.
Yes.
And we see a whole ass limo behind him with a chauffeur.
Mm-hmm.
And Maurice is like, well, I don't need you anymore. Poof. And
it disappears.
Goodbye. And you got to wonder if Gladys is watching from across the street.
It's literally what I was just about to say. I said, where is Gladys?
Yes.
And all exclamation points. She would have seen that.
Yeah. That would have been like her season finale. Like that is the craziest thing to have happened on this street in a while.
And that's when she would have had to up the dosage on her medicine.
Yes. Or maybe they already did, and that's why we haven't seen Gladys for a while. She's down.
She's just in a coma.
She's down. Yeah. She's in bed.
That's a really dark
That's dark.
thought.
Sorry. Sorry.
# believe women.
Yes.
So he comes in, he greets Endora.
Mm-hmm.
And this is where we kind of figure out, because Maurice is like, oh, are you really my daughter? Like, blah, blah, like all these things, like, oh, like, you've grown into such a beautiful woman. Like, he hasn't seen her in hundreds of years. Like,
yeah.
as long as we know that they're supposed to live. Like, when's the last time he saw his daughter?
Yeah, right.
If he hasn't seen her the way she looks now.
Right.
Was kind of crazy.
Because I'm trying to think if he mentions any like time or date. He does mention like a wine bottle from like 53 and 59.
Yeah.
And so, and he talks about being in Brussels with her and like drinking that vintage. And if we find out that like she wasn't actually with him. That was someone else. Also, I have questions about their marriage. Open marriage, or is it just assumed that like when you live that long, you're going to have multiple lovers and separate?
I don't think they're married.
Oh.
Like, they never say wife. They never say husband. I've just always assumed that they're not married and that's just Samantha's dad.
Oh, that's true. Because it works differently in the witching world.
Yeah.
And it's more accepted. Okay. I get this.
Yeah. So I'm just like, why haven't you seen your daughter in so long? But also to be like so, I guess, invested in whatever and who she marries, but you still haven't seen her in like probably 100 years. Like, I don't.
Yeah, what the hell?
It's interesting where, yeah, like, I guess, like, a little, like, a hypocrite type situation, right? It's like, you didn't care about her enough to see her recently, but she's still your daughter, so you're still going to tell her who she can marry.
Right, yeah. That's still, it affects you. It doesn't.
But yeah, so, and then Maurice.
He has presents for them.
Yeah, Maurice says, he says, will you reach into my pocket?
He said, close your eyes and reach into my pocket.
I said, honey, if an old man ever tells you that, you run.
I wrote down, I was like, even if my own dad did that, I'd be like, no, I'll close my eyes and you will place it into my hand, please.
I'm good.
I'm good.
But also, as people get older, they have like tissues and like snot rags in their pocket.
Hell no.
You never know what you can find.
You never know.
So no, I just thought that was so funny. And so she does in his coat pocket and pulls out this huge like rectangle jewelry box, and she opens it. It's like this blindingly giant like brooch, like diamond brooch. She's like, oh, it's the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. And he says, it's the most beautiful thing anyone's ever seen.
So extravagant.
So I guess he created it, because later he says something about like gifts like created instead of gotten, like at least that one, like he might have like conjured it up, right?
Oh, okay.
It's a Maurice original, maybe.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, and so he pulls out another box. And he's like, don't worry, Endora, I brought you a gift too. And she opens it, and it's a bottle of perfume. And then they kind of reminisce, and he's like, oh yeah, it's from that little shop in somewhere.
I don't remember. Oh, Zurich.
And she says, is that salesman, disagreeable salesman still there? Which is really cute. And he was like, yeah, but now he's little or something.
Yeah, he
and
like turned him tiny.
Yeah, like shrunk him. And she's like, you shouldn't have. And he's like, oh, it's just a gift. And she said, no, the clerk.
Yeah. And the fact that she like opens the box with magic.
Oh yeah,
like,
she does. Yeah.
How unnecessarily like or maybe how reliant they are on magic compared to Sam. And I think it's interesting that her dad doesn't ever comment on how little magic she's making. I feel like every time we've seen a witch in her space before this, they've always been like, why aren't you using magic for this or that? And
Bertha
he doesn't.
And Mary were shook.
Yes. And even Endora when they're first in her kitchen. But Maurice doesn't comment on this at any point. He doesn't like reprimand her for her little use of magic.
Yeah. But then like I love the gag that will continue right for the rest of the show. But neither of Sam's parents can remember Darrin's name.
Yes.
He's like, well, where is he anyway? Like, you know, and it's so cute. And he's like, who? Or Endora's like, Donald, you know, and
Darrin.
Yeah, it's so cute.
So funny.
But yeah, so Maurice asks Sam if she's happy, and she says, yes, I am. And he says, that's all that's important. That's all that matters to me. But of course, as long as he approves of the match, of course.
Yes. And he ends up asking her a little bit about him, and he's like, what's his last name? She says Stevens, and he goes, oh, I don't think I ever flew into them, as in like ran into them. And she tells him that they're from Massachusetts, very old stock, but we know that he's actually from Missouri. So I don't know if at first I got excited. I was like, ooh, lore drop. Like, his family's from Massachusetts. But I don't know if she's just lying in order to.
Yeah, because like Salem.
Yeah. So I thought that was fun.
Yes.
And I'm like, Maurice has never met anyone with the last name Stevens.
So cute.
It's crazy.
Yeah, so they're just kind of talking and reminiscing and talking about Darrin, and Sam's making up lies of where he is, you know.
Oh yeah, find a man who I approve and he'll make you happy. Fuck
Yeah.
that. As if she doesn't know what she deserves or what'll make her happy.
Yeah.
Stupid.
She's an adult.
Yeah, she's been alive for centuries now.
Yeah.
We can assume. I didn't like that at all.
So cut to Darrin and Larry at the bar. So it's the same bar set we've seen since like the pilot, basically. And Larry just still doesn't understand why Maurice wouldn't like Darrin. And he's like, well, what is it? Like, what is the thing, like, you know, like basically Darren's like, the only reason I would be good enough for her is if I were a warlock. But of course he can't say that to Larry.
Yeah.
But then really cute, Larry's like, well, what's he gonna do to you? Point his finger at you like a gun and you explode or whatever. Like basically
explode
what
you like a vase.
Yeah, what Samantha did earlier, which is so good. And then Dick York's face acting like, like, yeah, no, that would never happen.
All too real.
But then he says, you know, he's like, Samantha's dad doesn't believe in mixed marriages. So we hear that again. And Larry is so good. He looks at Darrin. He's like, I didn't know you were mixed.
Right?
It's so good.
And then Darren's like, oh yeah, I'm English and she's Norwegian.
It's so good.
And Larry's like, that's a mixed marriage? Like, no, it's not.
Yes. So, but since we have a second mention of a mixed marriage, I would just like to do a little...
Give us some context, some
quick
real world
aside.
context.
Now, keep in mind, this is 1964 when this episode aired. I'm sure it was filmed in 63 or whatever.
Sure.
But, no, it immediately made me think, and like the whole episode, this kind of like, you know, what the commentary that they're making, which we've kind of talked about in previous episodes, how these shows were kind of like magical escapes for the craziness of the real world happening in the 60s, but still being able to put real life scenarios and real life situations into these episodes and making them fun, but still making you think like, without shoving it down your throat, right? And maybe making it more accessible to those people that might not agree, you know, with the actual thing that they're clearly talking about. Yeah. Right. So it made me think like mixed marriages. We've already heard it twice in the episode. And I was like, when did that become decriminalized? Yeah. Right. And so, so again, this episode aired in 1964. Loving versus Virginia was not decided upon until 1967. So still the decriminalization of a mixed marriage did not happen until 1967. But of course it was the landmark civil rights victory that ruled laws banning interracial marriage violate the 14th Amendment. Loving in question, which is literally Loving, but it's so funny that their last name happens to be Loving. So it was Richard Perry Loving and Mildred Loving. And they fought for several years to be able to get married. And it just so happens that they happen to be two different colors, right? And so they fought, and in 1967 they won, and it decriminalized interracial marriage. So
beautiful.
So yeah, because that's like the first thing I thought about, especially when they kept saying it. But yeah, kind of crazy to think that still several years later is when it was finally decriminalized.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Was it, is Darrin from Missouri?
Yeah.
And Missouri's slogan is...
Show me.
Show me? Okay.
As y'all pointed out in our first episode.
Thank you for that. And Virginia's slogan is Virginia is for lovers. And it's because of the Loving versus Virginia case.
Hell yeah.
That's my 2 cents.
There you go. So yeah, very important context, I think, to remember going into this episode. So
Thank you.
of course. So yes. So cut back to the house.
Yeah.
And Maurice asks where Darrin is, and he wants to meet him, of course. And Sam says that he's in Washington. And Maurice asks what Endora thinks of Darrin as he makes himself a drink. And Samantha's like, please, like, be nice.
It's so cute seeing them work together, and Endora's evolution of now, like, being on Sam's side with Darrin.
Which is like when they worked together in Paris, right? Which I love so much as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, Endora's like, oh, he'll surprise you. Maurice is like, good, as he sips his drink. And then it cuts back to the bar with Darrin and Larry, and they're also taking a sip of their drink, which I thought was a really cute transition. Also, I noticed too, I'm like, Darrin and Larry are at a bar. They're drinking like out of a champagne glass. Oh, was that what a normal men would have drank back then, besides like a martini or something like Mad Men, whatever? Like now it's like, give me a beer.
Yeah.
Right? And they're over here drinking like at the bar.
Right? I wonder why they're drinking champagne, because it's not like they're celebrating anything. I mean, we as fans can come up with as many things as we want. Like, oh, maybe they got a big project that they got signed on for, so they're celebrating that and we just didn't see it. But I feel like as watchers of a show, you can only really go off what you're seeing or that they mention.
Now, not to say you're not a man if you don't drink beer. I just thought it was interesting because stereotypically, especially in movies and TV, the men, if they're in a bar, they're always drinking.
You're not a man if you drink champagne.
Beer. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what we're saying.
So yeah. But anyway, Larry is telling Darrin, like, you got to stand up to the old man. And then this is when he says, what can he do to you? Point a finger and blow you up like your glass. And they chuckle. And like I said, I love Dick York's eye acting. It's so good. And then back to the house, and Maurice says, it's a shame. It's a shame that I'm not going to meet that young boy today. And Sam, yeah, that's too bad. You can't stay longer. Darrin should be back in a few days. And then the phone rings.
Yeah.
Which is so cute. And she kind of ignores it. And he's like, aren't you going to get that? And she's like, what? The phone? The telephone? And he's like, yeah. And so she answers it, and it's Darrin.
And he says, I'm in a bar getting drunk. And I laughed out loud.
Yeah.
Thought it was so good.
And she's like kind of doing the thing like previous episodes, right? Where she's like, oh, hi, honey. Oh, you're busy. Like, that kind of thing. You're going to be gone for a week, whatever. And he's like, if you expect me to be in this bar for a week, so good.
She's like, oh no, darling, I better take this in the other room. You understand? And they're like, oh yes, we understand. So she like goes into the kitchen or wherever. Yeah,
she's like, I don't need to take this privately or whatever. So cute. But yeah, so he's like, no, like, that's crazy. Like, this is ridiculous. Like, there's nothing he can do about it. Like, we're married. I'm coming home as soon as I can. Right. And she's like, no, don't do that. Don't do that. I'm begging you. Don't come home. I haven't told him yet. Yeah. Kind of thing. And he's like, it's settled, Sam. Like, I'm coming home, Yeah. And she's like, oh dear, and so she goes back in there, whatever.
Well, they like hang up, and then she's like, please know that I'm doing this for your own good. And she like twitches her nose, and then we see Darrin is locked in the phone booth.
Sam, I'm coming home.
Oh, I beg of you, Darrin. Please don't come home. Please listen to me.
I'm through listening. Goodbye.
Hello? Hello, Darrin? Oh, please understand I'm doing this for your own good.
Yeah, he tries to get out of the phone booth and it's locked. And while she's on the phone, though, we cut back to Endora and Maurice talking together, right? And then there's more evidence that he hasn't seen Sam in ages. He's like, oh, she's turned out wonderfully. And then he picks up some champagne, and he reminisces about a time they had in Brussels.
This tells us everything we need to know about Maurice and Endora's relationship.
Yeah.
The fact that she's like, we were never in Brussels together, Maurice. And then he's like, well, of course we were. I remember drinking this and you. And then he stops because he remembers whoever he was actually with in Brussels.
Yes.
And it's so funny. And he says something about how she always did have a mind like a steel trap. And it's like, you bet that she's going to have her wits about her. And you're not going to gaslight her into thinking anything about. No,
absolutely not. But he like, I forgot what the brand of the champagne's supposed to be. But he has like a 59 bottle and he tries to conjure a 53 vintage. He's like, you know what's even better? 53, because that's what year they were supposed to have been to Brussels. And he can't do it. We get a, like a boom sound because he can't seem to find one.
Yeah.
Right. And it's really cute.
I thought that was so interesting. And then he says something about, oh, there's only a few left in the world or whatever.
Yeah.
And yeah, I wonder what, like, so sorry, magic system question again. Does that mean that like he's only able to conjure things that aren't already in possession of someone, or that are not like locked away or tucked away? Like, I have specific questions on like why he wasn't able to conjure this bottle, especially since later it's in the same house that he's in. You know, so I've got
spoilers.
Sorry.
But yeah, so it was really cute seeing them interact, of course, and everything.
Yeah, and then when Sam locks Darrin in the phone booth, it feels a step too far. In the moment, it feels a little like, whoa, now you didn't need to like lock him up.
Well, she doesn't want Darrin to die.
Yeah, he doesn't understand the real life danger that he's in.
She doesn't want him to be a vase.
Right?
That gets exploded.
A newspaper.
Yeah.
Thrown in the fireplace.
I would hate that.
I
hope that doesn't happen to him.
Right, what? Oh, yeah. And then we see that we cut back to the bar and we see that Larry is at the bar chatting up some woman. And that's not his wife.
Yeah, because when he gets locked up, he's like, Larry, like trying to get out. And then the camera like pans over and Larry is flirting with some floozy at the bar.
Yeah, he's like leaning on the bar, like all up in her grill, talking to her. And you just know it's not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And no offense to this extra, but she is definitely, let's just say Miss Irene, a.k.a. Louise, is very, very way more attractive than this lady at the bar.
Yes, a lot more elegant and yes.
I think he just likes that it's not his wife.
Yes, I think he likes that he's getting attention from a woman that doesn't hate him.
Yeah, but I thought that was a really cute, quick moment that if you look down for 2 seconds or something, you would have missed, right, watching the episode. And I love that they just added that just to show how insane Larry is.
Yes.
It's so fun. So yeah, Larry jumps up and they like look at the thing. He's like trying to get him out. And then cut back to the house, and they're all on the couch looking through a photo album. And he looks at a picture, and he's like, what's this one? And Samantha's like, oh, that's when Darrin was in the service. And we see the picture. We'll put it in, of course. But it is this goofy-ass picture of Dick York with the craziest look on his face. Like they surprised him taking the picture. It's so good. So funny.
Yeah, in his little uniform.
Yeah, but Maurice is like, oh, very handsome young man, you know. But he's like, why would he... What service? Why would... We don't do that.
Yes. Yeah.
Which also made me think about some people who might have enough money to when drafts or other things pop up that they don't have to go.
Yeah.
Right? So that made me kind of think about that.
Somebody knows somebody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe our current president didn't have to go to war. Right. And so I thought that was an interesting little tidbit in there as well. Like, we don't do that. Like, our people don't have to do those kind of things.
Yeah. They're drawing some like parallel between being a witch and being classist or having wealth.
But it's so cute.
Yeah. And she's like, oh, well, Darrin's, he's patriotic. And they're like, patriotic? She's like, yes, he's in all the wars. I have pictures of him from the World War I, Spanish-American War, War of 1812, and before that I have paintings.
It's so good. Wow. But like the whole time she's like mouth diarrheaing, Endora right beside her is just, oh my like putting her hands down on the couch, like rolling her eyes, like how far is this gonna go, right? Especially because she knows something that we're about to find out, right? It's
and
so
then we cut
good.
back to the bar.
Yes.
And the whole bar is trying to get Darrin out of this phone booth. And I was tickled pink. I
It's so
started
good.
laughing so hard.
So they
my
like
God.
all grab it and they're like leaning it down onto the ground,
Right?
which is so good.
Because I
And-
guess they're going to try to take the bottom off
Yeah.
or something. Like they can't get the door open. So they're going to take the top or I don't
Yeah.
know what the, yeah.
And so it's like that, and the doors are facing up, and so then the camera's like pointed down, right? And so we see Dick York through the door of the thing, and Larry's like, "Oh, we're gonna get you out of here, don't you worry. And if not, we'll ship you Rail Express," which was so good. But he's like, "No, like I gotta get there, you know, I gotta." And Larry's like, "Don't worry, like we'll figure it out or whatever."
Yeah, he's like, "Do you want me to drive you?" And Darren's like, "No, it's too far." And so like,
Yeah.
oh, okay, I guess they live kind of farther apart, but they still take the train together. And then he's like, "Oh, I just need to figure out when the last train leaves." And then he asks for a dime.
Well, he says, "Oh, there's a new train line," calling back to his line in the beginning of the episode. There's a new train line. It's late. I wonder when the last train leaves. So
But,
he
yeah.
puts a little dime through the crack.
Yeah, that part's funny. He's like feeding it through to him and he's like catching it.
Yeah,
It's so
and
good.
so nice to know the phone booth still works sideways.
Right? Wouldn't I have so many questions. Like wouldn't the cords be into the I don't know how that occurred.
Movie magic.
Movie magic. But I don't know. Like the part where he says like I need to figure out when the last train leaves, but he literally said early in the episode the last train leaves at 10.
They're putting a new train in service. Leaves the city at 10 p.m. How about that?
So it's like, is that just like how in normal conversation you might forget something,
Yeah,
like a little
that's what I
detail
was
you
gonna say.
said
Maybe
earlier?
he forgot. He's a very busy man, and now
And he's been
worried.
drinking.
Yeah, now he's worried about his father-in-law killing him,
Yeah.
and all that stuff. So he's got a lot on his
got a
plate.
lot on his
and he's
plate.
the best.
Account exec
Account
at McMahon and
executive.
Tate.
Exactly. So good. But yeah, so he calls while on his back. He calls the people and knows that he's like, "Oh, the last train's in 20 minutes."
Sorry. Would a small residential neighborhood have its own train stop? He's like, when is
Hey,
the last train at Morning Glory
You stop punching
Station?
holes in this.
So sorry. I'm so sorry.
Wow. Wow.
They just didn't want to tell us like the bigger city that they're in.
Are you the Scully to my Mulder?
I would be so honored to be the Scully to your Mulder.
Are you
honestly.
the skeptic? You're just punching holes in everything.
I think I am.
And I'm like, suspension of disbelief, honey. I'm just on a ride.
I'm happy to balance it out for you.
Okay.
That's what teamwork makes the dream work.
Wow. And then, once he hangs up the phone or whatever, then it's so good. He tries to hang it up on the little thing, like on the phone, right, where you would place the receiver, and it just falls back down on him, right, because the phone booth is on sideways. So really cute. Then we cut back to the house, and this is where we find out that Maurice has known this entire time, basically, and so has Endora. Endora knew that he knew, which is so interesting. So Maurice is like, what is this piece of paper? You know, and he's holding Darrin's birth certificate. And he's like, a little boy named Darrin Stevens, born to Phyllis and Frank. And I was like, ooh, Phyllis and Frank, we'll see them later. I like they remember their names at least.
Yeah.
And everything. And then Samantha's like, oh, that's just something fake to throw off the neighbors and everything. And Endora is like, well, I tried that already, and that's how we find out that they've already talked about this.
Yeah. I was confused because I was like, oh, did Sam like leave to like make dinner or something, and in the meantime Maurice went snooping and found all this stuff? Like, I don't really know where in the timeline Maurice figured all this stuff out. Yeah. Mufasa took a giant shit and it smells god awful.
I don't smell anything. Maybe it's you and all the shit that's coming out of your mouth. You ever think about that?
It's my own breath blowing back in my face, poking holes in this episode.
Yeah.
definitely a big dookie in the bathroom.
But yeah, so he does that, and then Endora's like, oh, already tried that, Samantha, you know. And so then after that, he has a pill bottle. Did you happen to write down what he says? Like, he reads how many times Darrin's supposed to take this medicine?
I thought it was like twice a day.
No, it was like one capsule, as he says, after each meal, and then like once at bedtime or something. And I was like, oh my goodness,
For indigestion?
what is wrong with Darrin? What kind of pills are he taking? So yeah, and I'm like, yeah, why would a warlock need this in his medicine cabinet? You know? And so finally, that is when she like comes clean, right? Which is really cute.
Yeah. And at first Maurice is like kind of quiet. And then things just start.
Well, he sits down.
Yeah.
He has a glass
she's
in
like,
his hand.
take a seat, father. And what does she just say when she tells him?
She's like, it's true.
He's immortal.
He's immortal.
And then at first he's kind of quiet, and then things just start shattering everywhere.
Yeah.
It's true. Darrin is mortal. You're not angry, are you? Father, please.
Maurice, control yourself.
Father, your temper.
I just love Endora. She's like, stop being a child, Maurice. You know, is so cute. And then he finally settles in the corner over there where the bookshelf is, so to the right of the painting, and all of a sudden books start flying off the shelf. And that's where Endora moves over there to him, and she's like, get a hold of yourself, you know, like, this is insane. And then that's when he blames Endora. And he's like, what do you say? I turned my back for 2 seconds and look what's happened. I'm like, 2 seconds? It sounds like 200 years that you haven't seen your daughter. Yeah, so like if anybody's to blame, if you want to go with your own narrative, girl, it's you.
Yeah.
You're to blame because you haven't kept up with your daughter, which also made me think like Zeus type thing. How many other kids do you have?
Yeah, you wonder.
Like, does Samantha have any?
Gotta have siblings.
Brother and sisters, right?
They gotta.
So silly. But yeah, and so Endora's like, you know, get with the times, right? Which is kind of like seeing this again, kind of going back to real world type stuff. She's like, all the best families, you know, it happens to all the best families. And he's like, not to my family and everything. And so that's when I was like, wow, like this is really like, you know, definitely mixed marriages and stuff. And, you know, gay marriage eventually, right, is kind of like, you know,
they're talking about the
we can
real
relate.
World prejudice that people have. And
Endora's like, it's a new world and get with the times. It's so good.
Welcome to the 60s, Maurice.
Exactly. And Sam says that that it's done and basically to get over it.
Yeah.
You know, she's like, it doesn't matter. Like, you can be pissed off all you want, but like, we're married and we're happy. That should be enough for you. Right. But yeah, he's still really pissed off.
And then we hear a car pull up.
Yes.
Yeah, and he's like, Washington, D.C., eh?
Looks out the window.
And then Samantha's like, Daddy. And then she's like, Mother. And then Endora performs some sort of magic.
Yeah, she's like, do something, and Endora throws her hands up like and like she always does her big movements, right? And then we hear something, and then the door swings open with the keys still in the door, and Darrin has vanished.
Yeah, Darrin's nowhere to be seen.
It's so good.
And Maurice is like, you'll tell me where he is. And Endora says, you may frighten Samantha, but you don't frighten me. And then they have this like charged stare off that's kind of like sexy, but also kind of like threatening, and you're like, ooh, what's gonna happen?
And we get some iconic Agnes Moorehead eye acting like she loves to do, and
she's
everything,
so hot,
and her glares and everything. And so they kind of do that. Some weird music plays, and he says, "You're getting stronger, Endora."
She's like, "You're getting weaker."
No, she's
or
like,
you're
getting
old.
older, Maurice. So again, it's like, wow, like she's got to be like, maybe both of them, right? Like she's like like American Horror Story Coven, like she's like the supreme bitch, right? And he might be like the supreme of like the Warlock type situation,
which is interesting because we've heard she's been around for like Julius Caesar, like she's been around for thousands of years, and she's getting stronger, like she hasn't even peaked yet, is what they're saying. And so I just thought that was a really cool lore drop, because I feel like also at this time women are kind of seen as like over the
I was just about to say
over the hill at a certain age, and not this one. She is still in the prime of her life, and not
older
even
women are not disposable.
Facts.
Right. And so it's like, wow, like you may be this older woman, like at least Agnes Moorehead as the actress, right? But you are not even at the pinnacle of your power.
Right. It goes up and higher. You ain't seen nothing yet.
She's hot. She's powerful.
She's a force to be reckoned with.
And she is not a one-man woman. But yeah, so then he like gets pissed off more and like kind of storms out. He's like, "What did you do with him, Endora?" You know, and she won't tell him, and then he storms like outside to look for him, right? And Endora's like, Samantha, why don't you go get the evening paper, darling?
Right? Which I feel like, yeah, I don't know, a bit of a misplay, because then she goes out there and he's already out there, and she picks up the paper and he's immediately suspicious. Yeah. I feel like if she had like left him out there for a few minutes or something until Maurice came inside, and then she could go out and grab it. But you know, this is TV. We're moving quick. We don't have time for all that.
But when Sam goes outside, he's like looking around, kind of talking to himself, like, a bird? A tree? What did she do with him? And then he asks her, like, she's going to help you find her man so you can hurt him, right?
Yeah, what?
And she's like, oh, I don't know, because she picks up the paper. And he's like, well, what in the devil is that? Like, he's never seen a newspaper before.
Yeah, right.
And she's like, oh, nothing, just the evening paper, which is so cute. And he kind of snatches it out of her hand. He's like, you know, like he knows kind of thing, but he doesn't. And he's like, this is so crazy. And
I love it. The acting here, where he's just in like Hulk smash destruction mode, and then seeing Sam's subsequent distress at how her husband is being handled, just like smacks it again and again and again.
So good. And so then the camera follows them back inside, and he's still frustrated, right? Like, why won't you tell me? Like, why is this such a big deal? And the fire has been going also in the fireplace for the episode, and he just like drops it in the fireplace, and she's like, ah!
Yeah.
And she freaks out, goes and grabs the newspaper out of the fireplace while it's still smoking. She puts it on the
I want to say landing, but that's not the fireplace.
The
step,
the thing, the hearth, the thing,
stoop.
Anyway, we have one in our home.
But like, she's so gentle with him. She like doesn't want. She wants to like put out the fire, but she doesn't want to like smack it out. So it's so good.
It's amazing. And so then she again. We'll see this later. Okay, keep this in mind.
Okay.
Because Samantha immediately freaks out, and she's like, oh, whatever, and points at the newspaper, turns Darrin back into himself. He's smoking. His hair's messed up. He's still smoking. He's got ash on his face, and, you know,
I did write down interesting magic system that Endora can transfigure him, and then Samantha can change him out of it.
Well, that's what I was going to say, because in later episodes we see that they aren't able to do that anymore magically, right? Like, okay. Well, she did it. I can't change another witch's magic, right?
Interesting.
So just a little something to remember for future episodes. But we see that she did, and thankfully she did. And he's like all disheveled, but he's like not disoriented or too drunk, because he jumps up and lets Maurice have it.
Are you all right, darling?
Yes, I'm all right. Excuse me, sweetheart. Now, look, you, so far I've been locked in a phone booth and turned into a newspaper. I've been banged on one end and I've been burned on the other. Now, I may be a source of amusement around here, but I also happen to be married to your daughter. She loves me and I love her, and we're going to stay married whether you like it or not. Is that clear?
I have to admit he has courage. You certainly picked a good one.
I told you, Father.
And I think probably a little bit of the liquid courage from the bar.
Oh,
probably a lot of bit of the frustration of being, stuck in the phone booth and then having to travel all the way here and then getting beaten, battered, and bruised.
Yeah, so he's all up in his face. And Sam, you can see, like, she's kind of proud of him, right? Talking to her dad, like, standing up for himself. And then, because he's like, this is the woman I love and we're happy and that's how it's going to be,
Yeah.
And Maurice is impressed. He's not angry. And he's like, wow, like, for a mortal, like, you've got some spunk to you,
Yeah, you picked good, Samantha.
Yeah, and he's like, so it makes it a shame that I have to do this. And then, like, points to him, basically, and Darrin explodes into a ball of flame, basically.
And Sam's face when he goes boom, she's just her eyes are so big.
Yeah.
And you can see it on her face. And
yeah, so she's like distraught, as well as Endora is also upset as well. And she's like, girl, I didn't really like him that much either, but I'm not going to have the death of a human on my hands. So you better figure out how to bring him back.
Yeah.
And
Maurice is like, stay out of this, Endora. And it's like,
this is for your own good.
Yeah. And she's like, my own good. And he's like, you'll understand one day. And she's like, one day I never want to see you again.
Yeah, because he's like, someday you'll thank me for this. She says, thank you? I never want to see you again, you know, kind of thing. And she's like, so good.
And she like speaks a spell to banish him. And I wrote it down this time.
Ooh, what's the spell?
Call back to our first episode when we had no idea what he was saying. Saladam, Balazar, Oblivia. And it's like
so
a little
cute.
callback to the honeymoon moment.
Yes, when she tries to get rid of Endora on her honeymoon.
Yes.
So she tried to do a spell on both of her parents. So he kind of has a reaction like Endora did, like, how dare you try to do that to your parent?
Yeah, you talk to your father that way.
It's so funny.
And Endora's like, you better change him back, Maurice, or I'll make your life miserable. You know I can do it. I'll move in with you. And it's so good because it makes you think of like Larry and what's his wife's name?
Louise.
Larry and Louise's relationship and how they're always like going at it. And you have all these couples who are constantly not making each other's lives better. And I feel like it's such a good contrast to like Sam and Darrin and the way that they try to like lift each other up and they talk so sweetly to each other. And so Endora, once again, using her power, she's like, I'm going to make your life a living hell. It's so good.
Yeah. And so that shakes him.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, no. Because he loves the bachelor lifestyle, it seems, and everything. And so Maurice is like, does he really mean that much to you? Like, are you serious? And Sam's like, yeah, like, I love him more than anything. And like, I was happy. Can you please bring him back, And so finally he sees how much Darrin really means to her. And he's like, okay, I'll try. And they're both like, try? What do you mean? You can't bring him back? And he's like, I gave him quite a zolt or whatever he says, which is so cute. And so here becomes a montage of him trying to either give himself a hemorrhoid or bring Darrin back.
It's so good. They're like pieces of him start falling from the ceiling. There's like teeth and like a briefcase and like a shoe.
Yeah. So the shoe falls first.
Yeah.
Which is funny because if you notice earlier, especially when he's on the fireplace thing, these are not the shoes Darrin was wearing. Dick York was wearing a loafer, like more of a black loafer, dark brown.
Danny, where were you at and what were you doing?
And I know I was watching the colorized version, so like the color's whatever. But either way, the type of shoe is completely different when it falls out of the sky and we see the shoe that fell. And they're like, oh my gosh. So they're all like, encouraging him, like, you can do it. And he like undoes his bow tie, like he's like starting to sweat. And
like,
he's like
really getting into it.
Yeah, trying to bring him back and everything. And
Dora says
yes, and
she goes, oh, look at that technique. Like she's getting hot over her, like his concentration. It's so funny.
Yes, it's so good. And finally with one big last push, Darrin appears on the floor, not naked, and and my favorite line in the whole episode is Samantha's, "Oh, if you daddy, you did it. I'm so happy." And then she like kind of stops and she says, "Is that all of him?"
Like you forgot his penis or something.
I cackled. It is so funny.
He did it! Oh, Darrin. Very good. Very good indeed. Oh, is that all of him?
That's all of him.
You all right, Darrin?
Well, here we are. Just one big happy family.
Yeah, I put penis joke. No.
Yeah.
It's so funny. And so Maurice assures her that is all of him, which is so funny. Because like another show would be like something like later, like he goes to the bathroom to take a shower or something and then he just yells, "Samantha!" or something, like he's missing something, right? It would be so cute. But yeah, so, and then once he like kind of gets up, right, like all disheveled, like literally singed because he just got blown up, Endora's like, "Well, we're just one big happy family." It's so cute.
So good.
So yeah, and then after that we cut to Darrin being all dressed back in his normal suit, all clean and tidy.
That's the name of the show. One big happy family.
One happy family is the episode.
Just one happy family.
Yes. And so they're around the dinner table talking about kids. Darrin's like, "Well, we know that they're Catholic from Missouri, right?" And he's like, "I'm partial to large families myself." And Samantha's like, "Yes, I would love many children." Yeah. And I love Endora when she says, she's like, "Yeah, he's like, wouldn't that be nice, Endora, like Maurice does?" And she's like, "No, they don't have to rush on my behalf."
Yeah, right.
Like, she's like, "I don't care. Like, don't procreate with him," kind of thing.
And he's like, "We have plenty of time." And I'm glad that he's not rushing her into motherhood.
Yeah. Yeah, it's very nice. But yeah, it's so funny. And then he's like, he tells Maurice that he promised that they would name their first born son after Darrin's dad, Frank. And Maurice is like, "Oh, that's so silly. I never whatever." But once he tells him that they already kind of promised Darrin's dad, he's like, "Oh, well, that's an interesting choice," kind of thing.
He's
it's
like,
so cute.
Yeah, because he's like, "Oh, wanted to talk to you about that, actually, our first son." And Maurice kind of cuts him off and he's like, "Oh, I don't need you to name the child after me, whatever, that's not important, whatever."
Silly human things.
Yeah, silly
right?
human things. And then they're like, "Well, it's interesting, Daddy, we actually want to name him after Darrin's dad." And then Maurice goes, "Oh, well, I guess that's important to some people. Like, maybe he would have been a little honored if they had chosen to." Yeah.
It's so cute. So yeah, and then Maurice suggests that they toast, and he grabs the 69 or 59 and
69 from the future.
Yeah.
Why from the future?
I mean, he could, I guess.
I wrote down Charson du Mer. Carson du Mer. I don't know how do you pronounce it with the French.
Chanson de mer, chanson de mer, chanson de mer, chanson de mer.
I don't know if it's a real brand, right? But
Chanson du Mer.
let us know in the comments. But yeah, it's so good. And so he's like, he was like, "I wanted something better, but we'll have to settle for this 59, right?" And Darrin's like, 59 for this family? Like, I got something. He gets up, goes to the buffet in the dining room, opens a cabinet and pulls out another bottle, right? The same brand. And he says, "Here you go, 53. And so Maurice is gobsmacked. He's like, "What?" Because that's the one they were looking for earlier and he couldn't find it. And he and Endora look at it together and he's like, 53 Dojame or whatever, like he's so bewildered, and shows her and she's like, "Yeah, that's right." And so just how much that impressed Maurice, right?
Yeah.
Which was so sweet. And then And then Maurice looks at Endora. He's like, "Are you sure he's not one of us?" And then Darren's like, "Oh, well, it's not chilled." And she said, "No, he's not one of us," you know. And so he makes it chill, which we kind of see. So I guess I'm poking holes now in the episode. But before he says that, before he chills it, there's already water dripping off the bottom of the bottom of the bottle.
Interesting.
And then once it's chilled, right, he makes it chilled, then more water falls off the bottom.
I didn't notice that.
Which was interesting. But yeah, they do a toast and it's really sweet. And then he's like, after he toasts, he says goodbye. And then he vanishes in a giant burst of like smoke and flame, like the Wicked Witch and the Wizard of Oz, which is really cute.
And they do the whole like Donald, Darwin, Darrin again. Yeah. So he still can't get the name right. And he says to him like, he's like, "Oh, I might grow to be fond of you in 1,000 years."
No, in a century or so.
In a century or so. And then he goes, "Too bad you won't be around that long." Morbid.
So good.
Yeah. So, and then it makes you think like, oh, is this just a like, it puts it into perspective of Samantha's life. Like, is this just a side quest for her? Like, she has, you know, centuries and centuries, thousands even of years to live, and Darrin will only be alive for, you know, another maybe 60. So it's kind of sad. Like, I want to see if that weighs on their relationship at any point. Like, does he ever think like about that?
Yeah, I've already told you it's coming up in a few episodes, actually.
His morality, his mortality, and her immortality.
Right. Well, we don't know if they live forever, but
that's true. We assume they don't, because where's Grandma and Grandpa? Do we meet them at some point?
I don't know. We know Aunt Clara.
We do know Aunt Clara.
Or Clara, as my mother pointed out. She's like, "Why were you saying Clara?"
Oh.
And I was like, "I don't know."
Aunt Clara.
So just for you, I'll say Aunt Clara.
Aunt Clara. Oh yeah, I'm bad about that too. Like Cara, like that name.
Yeah,
something about it. I'm bad at. Anyway, very good episode. I enjoyed it. I would rate that one like pretty highly. Of what I've seen so far, okay. I think that's probably like an 8.5 out of 10 for me.
Even though you found all those nitpicks and mistakes?
I have a feeling that no matter what, there's going to be little things like that in each episode. So I think like those are definitely the things that are bringing it down 1.5 points. But I do feel like you can tell like the writers put a lot of thought into this episode and callbacks to things they mentioned earlier and like how things weave together and come about. And I see it. I respect the shit out of it. Yeah. And so, yeah, I think an 8.5 is probably where I'm at. But it'll be interesting as we keep watching. I feel like my scale is going to change as I have more points of reference.
Yeah. I would probably say a 9. Mm-hmm. What did we should start doing that too. We could write down what it has on IMDb or something too.
Oh yeah, to see how other people rate it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But no, it's probably high.
Yeah, I feel like so. Yeah.
But yeah, I loved it.
I loved it. It was a good one.
Especially like with the cultural significance as well, of putting that into perspective, right? Like, okay, like we can't watch this episode and not relate it to what was happening in the world at the time, and everything, especially calling it mixed marriages. Like they knew what they were doing, which again, at some points, kind of like in episode 3 with like literal sexual assault, right? Like the laugh track made me feel a little uncomfortable, and in some moments in this episode it also made me a little uncomfortable, right? Because thinking of it in the modern terms and like what they're really trying to say, right? And yeah, so I don't know, I loved it. And you know, you can look at it from lots of different aspects, right? So, and then I think they even it said too, right, that like for marriage equality, you know, in 2015 they also pointed to those same things that they looked at in the Loving versus Virginia case, to be like, it's unconstitutional, right, for you to say that someone of the same sex cannot get married, you know. And so just very important things that happen in our country. So yeah.
And I liked your point about how like this show, which might seem seemingly conservative, you know, with a, you know, blonde-haired, blue-eyed lead and like this like white family, and it might seem all fun and games about, you know, magic, but I think at the end of the day they are subliminally, you know, adding that messaging in, and I think it feels to me very progressive for the time it came out, and especially with like a lot of the points that they make about like Sam and taking her power back and being, you know, independent in different ways, even though she is a housewife. Yeah. I don't know. I'm very appreciative of it because I feel like watching other shows of the time, like I Dream of Jeannie, and there's like, it's just
literally in his servitude.
Yeah, it's not as well done as this. It doesn't age as well as I feel like this did.
Yeah, and I think that helps, you know, that Elizabeth Montgomery was very progressive, especially during this time and everything, and fought for a lot of things and change. And this was a good way, I think, to do it. Like, it's her show. She can say if she likes that or not, right? And putting that in there. But we see that through a lot of sitcom, a lot of television, through history, right? Different things being added in, right? To be like, oh, are Americans ready for this? Like, let me subliminally put this thing in here, right? And see what happens. Like, what can I get away with? You know, and I think that's interesting looking at this episode, but also plenty of other examples, like local writer and YouTuber Matt Baum, you know, has a whole series about LGBTQ representation in sitcoms and stuff. But like, you know, Norman Lear and Maude and like his shows especially were very progressive, right? And introducing gay characters, introducing topics such as abortion and like all these things into the episodes, right? To make a statement because it's important, right?
Yeah.
So
I think so.
Yeah, I love this episode.
Me too.
Yeah. So now, I don't know, was there a new actor we've never seen before in this episode?
Oh, yeah, the TV repairman.
Oh, that's true. And, you know, when he walked away to get that phone, to go to the phone, he was caked up.
Oh, yes, as they say.
Caked up on a Sunday afternoon.
Cheeked up.
Yes. I was like, whoa.
Whoa. Whoa. Well, yes, there is also the actor who plays Maurice.
Yes.
His real life name is Maurice Herbert Evans.
You might as well. Just go by Maurice. You might as well.
I know. Well, I say this because apparently throughout his whole life, that was a point of contention where people would say Maurice and he's like, it's pronounced Morris.
So what did they do though when they cast it? Like, we're gonna call you Maurice on the show.
It's hilarious.
Oh, okay.
It's hilarious that they did that, and that there's this, you know, sort of dichotomy between the Maurice character and Morris the actor.
Yeah.
And so I thought that was really funny.
Oh.
But yeah, let's dive on into his wonderful life. So he was born June 3rd, 1901 in Dorchester, England.
Nice.
Yes, his father ran a pharmacy of sorts.
A chemist.
A chemist, yes. A druggist, and he was a theater enthusiast, and he enjoyed adapting Thomas Hardy novels into plays for the local theater troupe. So Morris, from a quite young age, was acting.
Is that different than the Hardy Boys?
It is never from the Hardy Boys. Yes, it is. Growing up, he would always act in his father's plays, and then his first professional appearance on stage was in 1926 at the Cambridge Festival Theatre in their production of the Oresteia, which is a trilogy of Greek tragedies. And they ended up eventually moving to London, at which time he acted in nearly 20 plays and leading roles before he joined the prestigious Old Vic Company in 1934 at age 33. So that is a very, you know, famous company in London that to this day performs a lot of, you know, classic Shakespeare shows. And at the Old Vic, he played several titular Shakespearean characters. And this brings me to our first trivia question. Okay, which of these portrayals was hailed above all others? Was it his rendition of A, Hamlet, B, Richard II, or C, King Lear?
I don't see Hamlet for him.
Okay.
I don't.
Okay.
I'm going to go with King Lear.
Okay. Great guess. The correct answer is Richard II.
Damn.
He was considered the most tragically effective of all of the Richard IIs of the modern era, a triumph he dismissed as simply a happy meeting of an actor with a part. So he was quite modest.
Oh, good job, Maurice.
Oh, and just like that, I have a second trivia question for you right off the bat. Yeah, we're getting right into it. Okay.
Terrible show. And just like that.
And just like that. So despite his sensational acting career, he opened up what side business to support himself financially? Was it A, a dry cleaners, B, a cobbler, like a shoe shine repair store, or C, a tailor's?
D, selling feet pics. Oh. See, when I hear cobbler, I think of, the food.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think that. I don't think he's over there fixing shoes and shit.
Okay.
What was a dry cleaner and then...
A dry cleaner or a tailor's? Like a tailor.
Let's do dry cleaner.
Ding, 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 ding.
I finally got one right.
Yes. So it was called 9 to 6 Cleaners, and it was
Cute.
open, you guessed it,
From
9 to 6.
It was open from 10 to 5.
Just to throw you off. Yes. And yes, he would devote his daytime to working the shop, and then he would act in his evening hours. He often starred opposite theater royalty, including Helen Hayes and Catherine Cornell, who played the Juliet to his Romeo in his Broadway debut in 1935.
Nice.
Mm-hmm. And then he became an American citizen in 1941. And then when World War II started, he was in charge of an Army entertainment section in the Central Pacific. So he got deployed. And his unit ended up producing shows for the troop in the Pacific. Oh, around 60 shows for the troops in the Pacific. So they put on a lot of shows during his time. Among them was his famous GI version of Hamlet, which he adapted to be more appealing for the troops.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. And it was so popular, he brought it to Broadway in 1945.
Nice.
Isn't that crazy?
All veterans get in for free.
That's how it should be.
Mm-hmm.
And then in 1953, he co-produced The Tea House of the August Moon, which ran on Broadway for over 1,000 performances, right? And won several Tony Awards, Best Play, Best Actor, Best Author, Producer, Scenic Design, a handful, all of them.
It was a sweep.
It was a sweep, as well as the Pulitzer Prize for Drama. So he just really was killing it in the theater world.
The Hamilton of the day.
Exactly. Well, quite literally, yes. And it was during Tea House's success, he also produced No Time for Sergeants, which was about a hillbilly draftee. And it was a production that kicked off what famous actor's career?
Dick Sargent.
Oh, my God. No, good guess though.
Same name.
Same name. Was it A, Don Knotts, B, Andy Griffith, or C, Ron Howard?
I feel like it's a little early for Ronnie. Just a little early.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna say Andy Griffith.
Ding, 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 ding. 2-in-1 deep dive. That's got to be a record.
Yes.
Good job.
It is.
Because I feel like you'll normally get one right here or there, but 2 in a row.
Wow.
That's good.
Called out.
I mean, I get none of them right. I think I've gotten one trivia question right ever.
Well, my trivia is mostly about Judy Garland every time.
Yes. I need to study up next time. Yes, and Andy Griffith was nominated for Best Featured Actor, but lost. Womp womp. He later appeared in the film adaptation of the same name.
Nice.
And in 1964, Maurice appeared in a little old sitcom called Bewitched.
Who do you play?
Maurice. Crazy.
Are you sure
old
it's not
Maurice.
Morris?
I'm sure, because his real life insistence that his name be pronounced Maurice was at odds with his on-screen character's pronunciation of Maurice.
I feel like that would be so confusing, but also like if you've spent your entire life trying to get people to call you Morris, and then like even just when you're in that setting, right, and people are calling you Maurice, and you'd be like, okay, I'm acting. I'm not going to yell at these people.
Right?
That's so good.
I know. It's quite funny. And he appeared in many films, including Planet of the Apes, Rosemary's Baby. He also played the Puzzler in the Batman television series.
The Puzzler?
The Puzzler, which is...
I know the Riddler. I ain't never heard no Puzzler.
Well, he played the Puzzler. I don't really...
That's puzzling.
Yes, exactly.
That's funny because the lady who played Mary was also in the Batman TV show.
She sure was. So we see a little bit of crossover there. And he appeared in more American television productions of Shakespeare than any other actor. And this was kind of what he was known for. He brought Shakespeare to the masses. Beginning in 1953 for the famous television anthology Hallmark Hall of Fame, he starred in the first feature-length, meaning longer than 1 hour, dramatization of plays presented on American television. And among them were Macbeth, Twelfth Night, Hamlet, and he won an Emmy for his second portrayal of Macbeth in 1960. So like before this, most people wouldn't be seeing Shakespeare unless they could afford a ticket to, a theater performance. And then you're performing for, a couple hundred people at most. But now this was being played on, millions of Americans' televisions throughout, the year. So a lot more people had access to it then. And
and only 3 channels. So you have to watch it or read a book. and
like he was seen as the Shakespeare actor. Like he was the face of all of these
And this was
characters.
before Bewitched.
This was before Bewitched in 1953. Yeah. Or that's when it began, but I think he like continued doing that throughout like a decade.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it started in 1953, and during that time he was in Bewitched. But yes, he never married. And after he was on Bewitched, he toured with Helen Hayes in a program of Shakespeare readings during the 60s. But even in that time, he was still leaning towards retirement. I think it was getting a little bit much for him traveling around so much. And he was living near Helen in Mexico when he had a heart attack. And then he moved back to England to recover from the attack. And it was there that he developed a bronchial infection and ended up passing away in a nursing home in 1987.
Aww.
Yeah.
You should have stayed in the dry climate of Mexico.
Right. I know. So there wasn't much about his, life between like 1970 and 1987, but he wasn't acting anymore at that time. So, yeah, that was his life. I had such a good time researching him, though, because he had such an amazing career with Shakespeare and growing up performing in plays, and he was just so connected to his theater work, and also so connected to like Helen Hayes is an incredible person in like the theater history. So just the fact that they were so close is also really cool, and all the little discoveries you make on all these little rabbit holes you fall down. It's been a lot of fun.
Good.
Yeah, because I feel like before I'll like watch something and I'll like go down a rabbit hole about like mass burials or something, and then something random, and then what do I do with that knowledge? nothing. It's just there.
Yeah.
So it's fun being able to like write it down and connect it to other things.
That's supposed to be the point of knowledge. The reward is learning something new.
Right.
But
then it's just like floating around in there.
Yeah.
For what?
In your primordial soup.
In my soup. But yeah.
Well,
so that was fun for me. Thank you for joining me on that deep dive.
Thank you.
Yes.
We thank you, Maurice Evans.
Yes.
For your incredible life and legacy.
Mm-hmm.
From what I know, it sounds like he was kind of a big deal to have even take the role on Bewitched.
Mm-hmm.
From what I know. And so they were very happy to be able to have someone of his caliber, right, on the show. And again, like, to think that Elizabeth Montgomery was able to get two incredibly powerful, very well-known people, right, to play her parents is so funny,
right? Because I feel like in casting Maurice, they definitely had to find someone who could rise to Agnes Moorehead's, essence, and I think he definitely does that.
And I believe, like, the dream would have kind of been to have Robert Montgomery, right, her actual dad, play her dad, but I think this is during the time he wasn't speaking to her, or something, some petty reasons, right, which is kind of sad because it's also kind of an episode about her dad and clearly not speaking to her for hundreds of years, but and saying he's not going to talk to her because of her marrying a mortal and everything, but yeah, I'm glad it worked out the way it did, and we got him to play her dad. So of course this is the first time we see Maurice, but it's not the last. Yay! Thank goodness. So I want, it would be so much fun to like have like a little spinoff of like him and Endora's adventures, right? Separated from Morning Glory Circle. Would be incredible.
Right? Because I want to know what they're doing outside of those four walls. Like,
again, that
doing?
is the new show that we want.
Yes.
Not a reboot.
No.
Let's do something crazy.
Yeah, let's do something crazy. Let's see more. Let's explore more of this outside of, this tiny little box we've been put in, of a modern day marriage. Yeah. Like take us to India. Yeah. Take us like on all their crazy travels abroad. Like,
let's see him shrink that little guy in Zurich.
Right. Let's go around and experience all the things that they've been experiencing.
That'd be fun.
Yeah. Right.
We could write our own and then like
pitch it to them.
Do like voice readings.
Oh, we could.
But it could be like fan fiction.
Oh my God, this is
not
incredible.
Like Tina's erotic fan fiction,
No.
Because they don't. Andorra and Maurice, they don't go like that.
No. But we gotta add like a little bit of spice,
Yeah. The people they meet along the way.
Yeah, the people they meet along the way.
And then she's just at the door being like, oh, Maurice.
Maurice. Yeah, like they have a little bit of like sexual tension like we see in this episode. Yeah. But it's nothing that's like really tying them together.
Respect.
Yeah, respect. Yeah.
And also, you gave me my daughter I haven't seen in hundreds of years.
Yeah, right.
I will never get over that.
Anything else?
Think so. So we'll do it all again next time.
Yes. We'll see you in 2 weeks.
Yes. Make sure to review wherever you listen. It really does help get more eyes and ears on the show, right? And make sure to like and subscribe on YouTube. Maybe hit that little notification bell so we are always there and pop up for you.
Never miss an episode.
If y'all like us.
Yeah.
It would really mean a lot. And of course, follow us on social media at
Bewitched Deep Dive.
Yes. So yeah, thank you for listening, and we'll see you again soon.
Yeah, we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.
So my wife's a witch. Every married man has to make some adjustment.